Hello everyone, my name is Irene Casanova and it is a pleasure to be here today to present Brailleizing Education, an innovative approach to promote awareness and civic engagement. It is relevant to determine that within the learning process, writing and reading skills must be mastered as the main domains for achieving an effective language acquisition. Nevertheless, there exist some difficulties when one specific sense is partially or fully gone, especially sight. In the course of education, the use of Braille has been considered crucial, valuable, and necessary for literacy within visual impairment individuals. It consists of cells with 6 raised dots gathered in 3 rows and 2 columns, whose specific combination leads to the representation of letters, numbers, symbols. Within this system, information is received in terms of tactile inputs, using the fingertips of both hands. Braille appears to be something specific, different and impossible to learn or interpret it. Along these lines, understanding what Braille is, as well as its implications, is unknown for most of the Spanish society. Besides, very few methodologies are used for its teaching to make the learning process more exciting for students. Thus, game-based learning, which refers to the acquisition of contents by using games, can provide the motivation some students lack in learning Braille, as it allows for interaction, competition, and collaboration. The use of this approach for teaching Braille to the general educative population to guarantee inclusion, awareness, and civic engagement is scarce. With this scenario as backdrop, the objectives to pursue a solution to these challenges are arisen. Thus, this research aims to investigate the effectiveness of 2 different methodological approaches in improving students' learning outcomes of Braille and to design a Braille BNR questionnaire to attain this goal. The school selected followed a non-probabilistic convenience sampling. The educative center under consideration was a state school located in a town of Toledo, Castilla-La Mancha, Spain. The sample, which was composed of 89 primary education students, was divided into 2 different groups. The experimental group, who followed a game-based learning approach in which the students had to be enrolled in a Braille code solving competition, and the control group, who undertook a repeatedly type of Braille code solving. So in that way, they followed a repetition-based learning approach. An experimental research is carried out. In this vein, the independent variable refers to different methodological approaches, which are game-based learning and repetition-based learning, while the dependent variables corresponded to these 2. The first one being students' basic notions about Braille, and the second one being Spanish Braille alphabet system representation. Both are analyzed within a quantitative collection of data throughout the Braille BNR questionnaire. In this questionnaire, the first variable, which referred to students' basic notions about Braille, was analyzed by calculating the mean of the 4 questions, having a point fluctuation between 0 and 1. While the second variable considered the total correct number of alphabet transcription, with a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 27 points. These 5 questions were conducted by both groups in the pre-test and the post-test. to evaluate and compare the impact and effectiveness of the two methodological approaches on a student's learning of Braille, Mann-Whitney U test was used, in which the results revealed no significant mean differences between the control and the experimental groups in the pretest for both variables, indicating that they commenced the study with similar levels of knowledge about the Braille system, as well as similar levels of Braille's representation. Similarly, the post-test scores for variable 1 showed no significant differences, proving that both methodologies led to similar levels of improvement in basic knowledge of the Spanish Braille system. This result endorses the ideas of Feliz, who considers how the learning of basic notions of this system can be achieved within a short period of time, obtaining effective results. Nevertheless, for variable 2, significant differences between the groups were encountered, as it can be seen how the significant level is below 0.05, thus suggesting that the game-based learning approach had a more pronounced effect on improving the participants' Braille alphabetic representation skills. This scenario as backdrop, mean differences between both groups can be considered for variable 2, showing the effect of game-based learning in the Spanish Braille system. Since game-based learning seems to be more efficient than repetition-based learning of Braille's representation, the extent of that improvement leads to a median effect size, since R size is equals to minus 0.3, highlighting the added value of game-based learning in developing Braille alphabetic transcription skills. It is beyond dispute that educative opportunities and succeeding chances in life are reflected by the pedagogic system. In this sense, the present proposal invites for critical thinking about the civic engagement and awareness of Braille within society. Hence, the future implications of this study can include the elaboration of resources and materials to be integrated in educative contexts, the use of different methodologies to evaluate the effectiveness of Braille, and the application of the Braille BNR questionnaire to assess a student's knowledge and understanding of Braille in other type of contexts. The intervention has copious potential. The research has copious potential because despite its brevity, it has achieved significant effects which could be consolidated if it were to be extended temporarily. Furthermore, including additional online game sessions or follow-up resources for participants to continue the learning process on the Braille system beyond this small period of time workshop could be relevant to the study. All in all, the contributions of this proposal offer an innovative consideration to introduce Braille to the educative community using different methodological approaches, thus improving participants' interests, learning and motivation. Henceforth, this research contributes to civic participation by advocating for an informed and empathetic society, thus providing the educative context a vision of comprehension, understanding, civic engagement, inclusion, and awareness of Braille. Thank you very much. These are the research references used in this PowerPoint presentation. as well as some image references. Thank you once more for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.